Yeah, right, guys, it's been a while. We're off to Jersey today, and we're in a slightly different aircraft to the Diamond. Enjoy. Yeah, so as you can tell, we're in the TBM940 today. We're off to Jersey. It's going to be about a 40-minute flight time. The route that we're going to take is we're going to go slightly north to Henton, then to Compton VOR, then we'll join the Airways, making our way all the way down to Jersey, and then we'll take one of the standard arrivals in. And with the weather there, it looks like we'll be doing an ILS onto runway 26. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the aircraft started very shortly. Just having a quick look at the actual weather itself. As you can see here on Foreflight, we filed for flight level 180. We're going to take off. There's a fair few sorts of clouds hanging about, and I suspect we'll be into icing at the start of it, and then hopefully sort of before we coast out, so we'll get into some clearer air, and hopefully the icing will sort of dissipate. We've got sort of 20 knots worth of winds from the west, temperatures of about minus 13 degrees at flight level 180. And as you can see just on the significant weather chart here, there's actually no significant weather, but having a look at section 4, which we're in, there's basically saying it's light turbulence up to 210 and icing in between flight level 100 and 210 as well. And just having a quick look at the weather, we're taking off VMC in Booker, then we'll transition to IFR and the destination at Jersey. It's broken at 500 feet at the time being, but having a look at the TAF, it's all the nine's broken at 500, but becoming within our arrival period scattered at 5 to broken at 3,000 feet. So the weather's improving all the time, which is quite nice. Potentially a few showers en route. And yeah, that should be about it. So I think what we should probably do is get the aircraft turned on. We'll get an IFR clearance and then get the aircraft started. So to start the TBM, so all the lights are off up here, the dimmer's set to max, the gang bar's down and the starter is off. Ignition, we'll keep that on auto. Boost pump is off with the fuel selector at manual. AP trims are all off. The oxygen is off. Coming down here, so it's just sort of following a bit of a flow. The air conditioning is off with the seater heater off. Parking brake is on, and we'll just do a full of 3 of controls here to make sure there's no restrictions. That's all good. Landing gear is down, the dump is guarded with the bleed off, the hot airflow is set at the floor, manual override is off, the fuel cut off with the throttle is off. Flaps in the last known position, which is up, and down here the fuel selector, we make sure that that's on A tank, which is on the right at the moment. We then got the static source here, which is pushed, and the ram air at the bottom, and then just finally down here on the right hand side we've got the essential bus type, that's closed, and all the circuit breakers we just want to make sure are all in. So coming back up to the top, the gang bar can come up, the battery and the generator can both come on, and all we'll do is just wait for the aircraft to the screens to come alive. Cool, so what we'll do, we can push the rightmost, so we can check that everything's in date here, and we push the rightmost key, and that goes onto the aircraft's normal screen. So we can put our headsets on. Mads, you've got yours just behind you. Right, okay, so the aircraft is all powered up now, so we're continuing from sort of left to right. I like to put the nav lights on and moving our way across. Ignition remains on auto, and everything remains off there. Oxygen comes on, and we just test these oxygen masks behind us. So 1 and 2. There you go.
Pause system test OK.
Both working. And we do the oil and sound test here with a stick shaker.
Stall.
So we get the lights on there. All the lights come on.
Stall.
And we get a vibration on the control column, which is all looking good. Coming our way down to the left, inertial separator. We want to make sure that that is off. Parking brake remains on. And then all we do is just do an initialization. So with the MFD, The flight plan, so I added a flight plan in here yesterday. So what we can do is and options, flight plan catalogue, and Echo Golf Tango Bravo to Echo Golf Juliet Juliet. We hit that and activate. And the flight plan, we just zoom out on this screen here, we can see what it's going to do, exactly what I showed you on the iPad, taking us all the way to Jersey. What I can do is put that on full screen, this is a bit better to read. So continuing with the initialisation down here, Minor Maddie's weights plus the weights in the front is about 320 kilos. Payload, what we will do is just put that to 0. And fuel on board will sync, so what we can do is fuel on board sync, and it should match 292 gallons because we're at full fuel at the moment. And this is just confirming that all the databases are in date. Flight charts we don't use on this aircraft, so that's the only one that's expired. That's the initialisation complete on there, and just having a look at the screen here. So everything else looks good, ready for a start. ITT is less than 150, it's the first flight of the day. And we're just having a quick check here of the CAS, which is just at the bottom. So we just want to make sure there's nothing unusual that we'd expect for on the ground. Mainly things that can catch out as things like the oxygen's not on and the doors are open. Right, all looking good. So back onto navcoms there. Right, so that's initialisation. We can go on to home and go on to flight plan. So what we'll do is we'll get the aircraft started. So voltage is good. So coming up to the top here, so we have a good look to the left and a good look to the right. Make sure there's no one that's going to affect. And then we've got the boost pump here, which goes to on. You'll hear the noise with that. We'll cancel the caution. The fuel load pressure will delete, and we've got the caption with the auxiliary boost pump on there. And we'll start the aircraft. So starter for 2 seconds. Which we have, ignition starter, looking for 13% here, which we've got, opening the throttle and expecting light off. So what we're looking for is NG of 30 within 30 seconds, watching the NG for home starts and the ITT for hot starts. That's 30 within 20 seconds, so that's very good. Continue to accelerate, we're looking for 50 next within a minute. Which we've got, NG is green, and it's all stable there, that's a low idle. All the cautions all look good, oil pressure all looks good, props at 310, so now we can move the throttle across to the gate. I'm looking for 70 plus or minus 2. That starts at 11:45. So continue with the checks then, so nav remains on. Regarding the generators, we've got too much amperage to actually test to standby, so we'll do that in a minute. Moving across, boost pump comes to auto, fuel select goes to auto, and we just do a shift change to make sure that it changes tanks. All the pilot trims all come on. Onto the left side here, the air conditioning comes on, seat heat comes on, the inertial separator comes on, and coming across onto the right. Dump is on norm, and bleeds are on. Flaps will select for takeoff. And what we'll do is we'll just do a trim test here. So we'll do left and right on the yaw, up and down on the elevator. And we'll just set the yaw. The rudder trim here, we'll just put that into the green margin for departure. There you go, which looks good there. Right, I'll just do a final full and free as we're here. Right, what we need to do is just need to feather the throttle twice. So going into a low idle there, we'll get the pressure. All is good. Now back to flight, and we'll just do that one more time.
Golf Mike India Zulu approaching Precipice to the north, ready for rejoin. Golf Alpha Mike India Zulu, Wycombe radio, 24 right hand and the QFE 909 at 2. 24 right hand, QFE 909 at 2.
And one more further. Just get the pressure again. And that's all looking pretty good, I'm pretty happy with that. So we're just clearing up the CAS here, so the battery amp, so what we can do is test the standby generator. So up top here, just go on to standby,
we want to make sure that the main generator caption comes on and we're still charging, as you can see there, and that goes back onto normal generator. The pitos we'll put on when I'll get delete that, and then battery amps you just need to make sure it's below 50.
Wycombe Radio, you ready to copy your clearance?
Ready to copy, November 940 Romeo Whiskey.
London Control, instruct November 940 Romeo Whiskey to remain outside controlled airspace. The squawk 7623 and onward contact 134125.
London instructs November 940 Romeo Whiskey to remain outside controlled airspace, squawk 7623 and next frequency 134.125, November 940 Romeo Whiskey.
And the readback is correct.
Cool, so he's happy with that, so the squawk which goes in here is 7623, 7623, and we'll enter that, and the next frequency we'll put it on to number 1 is 134.125, and transfer that to the top as well, so when we take off we just switch on to box 1, and we'll be able to speak to everybody. So yeah, everything else is looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So all we're going to do is set ourselves up for departure. So hit the go around button here, and what that will do is that will put flight directors on the screen for takeoff. And we're on this autopilot panel, we work from left to right, so we'll go heading first of all, and runway heading's 240, for noise abatement we need to get to 230, with a bit of a southerly wind, probably 225. The autothrottle we'll do once we depart, and the out select we'll put up 3,300 to remain outside controlled airspace, and I want to make sure that the speed is in FMS mode. And everything else is looking good, so I'm pretty happy. Flaps are into takeoff position, I think we're ready to taxi straight out. So what I'll do, just releasing the brakes, and we're taxiing at time, let's call it 50. And November 940 Romeo Whiskey, taxi to Alpha 1.
November 940 Romeo Whiskey, roger, nothing there to affect taxi.
There's not a lot of wiggle room here, is there?
Not a lot, no. That big old hilly.
Yeah. Right, clear on the left, and as we go out, the weather to the north is actually looking fairly good, so I've got no sort of problems with passing IFR into cloud there. And I'm getting a good look up on final. I think we're all clear, so I think we're good straight to take off. What do you reckon?
Do it.
Let's do it.
Don't ask me.
And November 940 Romeo Whiskey by Alpha 1 lining up and rolling, runway 24.
November 940 Romeo Whiskey, the wind is 23011 knots.
There you go, so lined up on runway 24 there, just holding it on the brakes. The autothrottle can now come on. And we just have a final scan inside, making sure everything looks good. We'll just put the landing lights and the pulse and strobe lights all on. Everything else looks normal, so I'm happy for takeoff. So the procedure is increasing the throttle to get the prop in the green, so that's coming up now. Props in the green sector, all looking good. Happy with the T's and P's, and takeoff. So increasing the throttle there. Waiting for a click. There you go, click, and that's the order throttle all in.
Taxiway.
Aircraft acceleration feels normal.
Taxiway.
T's and P's all in the green. Airspeed to live. Rotating at 85 today. 85 rotate. Right, on the brakes. Gear comes up, and the yaw damper is on. And a left turn for noise abatement. .115, flaps can come up, and accelerating aircraft, we'll put flight level change on there. Passing at 1,000 feet above airfield, so we'll put the autopilots in, and we'll do a right turn to the north.
Helicopter India Zulu at possible for November.
India Zulu, nothing known. In the heli.
Landing light can come off, everything else remains.
For the join 2301.
Yeah, flaps are up.
Roger, helicopter India Zulu.
And November 0 Romeo Whiskey on to London, 134.125, good day.
Have a good trip, watch those clouds. See you later, mate.
Cheers, mate. Hampton. Left heading, Southampton, left to go 1360.
Mosquito 14 Hotel, turn left, resume navigation direct to Gobnu.
GoPro Whiskey 214.
London, good afternoon, November 940 Romeo Whiskey 2900, climbing 3300 on track Henson.
Number 940 Romeo Whiskey, thanks. Basic service outside, clear to join controlled airspace, climbing flight level 80.
Basic outside, clear to join controlled airspace, climbing flight level 80, November 940 Romeo Whiskey. Right, 80 goes in there, flight level change goes on when we've got to climb, and...
Tango 700 Tango, climbing 5000.
Yep, all set.
Tango Sierra Tango, roger, climb now, flight level 70.
70, Tango Sierra Tango.
November 940 Romeo Whiskey, turn left and route direct to Compton.
Left route direct to Compton, November 940 Romeo Whiskey. Compton,
295,
direct to...
right another 5 degrees, and we'll back to London
now
Control,
we can go now.
134755.
Right 5 and 134755,
There you go, we're flying.
The departure, good afternoon, Saudi 112, around 2700 for 6000, max is 14.
Saudi 112, roger. Tango Sierra Tango, continue from heading.
Heading, Tango Sierra Tango, any speed restriction?
Keep your speed, please.
Speed, Tango Sierra Tango.
Arcus Air 14 Kilo Alpha, descend to altitude 6,000 feet, QNH is 1010.
6,000 feet, QNH 1010, 14 Kilo Alpha.
Tango Sierra Tango, climb flight level 90.
Tango Sierra Tango.
You're up here there, Mads.
Portugal 1367, climb flight level 150.
Climb flight level 150, Portugal 1367.
Right, so as we're in the climb, there you go, popping out of the cloud there, that's quite nice at flight level 55. And what we can actually do is take the inertial separator off. So that comes off there. That gives us some more available power.
Portugal 1367, contact London 1290-430.
129.430, thank you, bye, Portugal 1367.
November 940 Romeo Whiskey, climb now flight level 90.
Climb 90, November 940 Romeo Whiskey.
Golf Sierra Echo, descend flight level 100.
Descend flight level 100, Golf Echo.
Yeah, so all's good, we're in the climb, 145 knots, climb flight level 90, 2,200 feet per minute on the way up. And we're in some nice smooth air. There you go. Good stuff there?
Yeah.
Saudi 112, London Control.
Yeah, 112, go ahead.
Saudi 112, fly heading 165 and climb flight level 170.
Heading 165, climbing 170, Saudi 112. London Control, good day, Camry 665, 120.
So 1,000 to go to 9,000 feet. So lights, pulse can come off, stereo bar keep on with the navs, everything else looks good. And I'm happy with everything else that's going on. It's a good aircraft, not much to do, eh?
Golf Sierra Echo, turn left and route to direct to Gobno.
Left direct.
That's levelling at flight level 90 there.
And then hello, Steve, 2676, passing 2,500, coming 6,000, max at 1 Fox.
Give it 2676, London, thanks. Arcus Air 14 Kilo Alpha, descend to altitude 4,000 feet, level of Arcus.
So it's not bad on top, is it?
It's a lot better on top.
Arcus Air 1 Fox.
Cheeky.
Sierra Echo, descend
What
to
you like?
80.
Flight level 80, Golf Sierra Echo.
November 940 Romeo Whiskey, climb flight level 100.
100, November 940 Romeo Whiskey.
Cambrian 66, turn right direct to Pepys.
Direct Pepys, Cambrian 66.
Mosquito 14 Hotel, contact Farnborough 134.355.
Yeah, so what we'll do, eventually, our final cruise level is going to be 180. So what we'll do is we'll eventually make our way up there. We'll turn the cameras off for the time being, and then we will catch up with you in the cruise or on the approach. See you in a bit.
Level flight level 180, Romeo Whiskey, contact Jersey approach 120.305.
120.305, Canadian November 940 Romeo Whiskey. Jersey approach, good afternoon, November 940 Romeo Whiskey, descending 70 on a Delna 1 Juliet.
November 940 Romeo Whiskey, Jersey approach, good afternoon, 40 miles from touchdown, expect vectors ILS approach, runway 26, descend to altitude 3,000 feet, QNH 1014.
Expecting ILS vectors, runway 26, 3,000 feet on 1014, November 940 Romeo Whiskey.
Correct.
There you go, so 3,000 feet we've got select there, 1014 we've got once and twice, cross checks all around, and down to 3,000 feet as she said. Right, so guys, you just joined us, we're just on an arrival for Jersey, the Delta 1 Juliet, we just passed Angler. which is one of the waypoints on the actual star, and the radar controller is going to give us radar vectors probably in the not too distant future, and we're just sort of managing to descend now. We're ready for the ILS onto runway 26 in Jersey. So just a bit more look at the plates we've got here. So yeah, as I sort of mentioned earlier, we're probably expecting to set the localizer at 2,000 feet at around 6 to 7 miles, and I'll bring the speed back to 170 knots a mile on the manual autothrottle, and we'll take it all from there. By 4 miles we want to make sure that we're stable with the gear and approach flap down, and we'll be bringing the speed right back to about 90 knots for a short final with landing flap on. And we're aiming for about 85 knots over the threshold, and then 80 for touchdown at this weight. So far it's all looking good. So we're just getting ready for the approach now, so I'll put the pulse lights back on. Everything else looks good up top. We're just about to enter cloud, so what I'll do is we'll put the inertial separator on. We're not really power limited at the actual moment. And yeah, just take it all from there. Just having a look at the rate of descent, we could probably shallow that off a little bit. So we'll probably go for around 800 feet per minute, try 700 feet per minute. And that looks something a little bit more sensible for to keep a sort of a constant descent going into Jersey. And what I'll do is I'll just monitor that on the way in. So yeah, so far so good. You're happy in that seat?
Yeah.
What's it like compared to the Twin Star?
I don't know, it feels very professional.
Very professional.
Very professional.
Yeah. It's a nice aircraft, isn't it?
It is very nice. My heated seat is luxurious.
Yeah, heated seat is good, isn't it? That's like one of the best features about this aircraft.
November 0 Whiskey, 30 miles to touchdown to the ILS, turn left heading 170 degrees, descent to altitude 2,000 feet.
Left 17 degrees, turn altitude 2,000 feet, November 940 Romeo Whiskey.
Left 170, the aircraft's just going to do a left turn by 15 degrees and down to 2,000 feet. And that bong was just the inertial separator, that was just confirming that it's on. So there's no more checks to do at the time being. So just having a look at the nose, so these clouds don't look too bad, but you can sort of see just on the nose that there's a bit more sort of convective activity. So what I'll think about doing fairly shortly is actually just bringing the speed back just a little bit further, just to make it a little bit more of a comfortable ride. What do you reckon?
Thank you very much.
Sound like a plan?
November 0 Romeo Whiskey, track adjustment, turn left heading 165.
Left heading 165, November 940 Romeo Whiskey.
I do quite enjoy this bit. You?
Oh yay, we're in.
So what we can do is activate vectors to final. We've got localizer on there. 110.3, 40 miles on the DME, that all makes sense. And what I'll think about doing now is put it into manual and start bringing the speed back. Let's go for 200 knots initially. So far so good.
There's no huge red pits, I'll take that.
Alright, so outside temperature 7 degrees at the moment, so we've got a bit of a cold airframe, but not expecting too much ice. We've got the pitos on, but there's no other ice protection apart from the inertial separator needed.
Tropical.
Tropical. So the aircraft's coming back quite nicely to 200 knots there. You can actually sort of feel it a little bit as well. The prop goes a little bit flat and you can actually feel it coming out the front, can't you?
Yes.
Yes. How's my banter for you?
I definitely felt that.
And actually you can see the island just over on the right in between the cloud. So I'm fairly comfortable that we've got a very good chance of getting in and not particularly concerned at all, you'll be glad to know.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit embarrassing if you don't.
Embarrassing?
Yeah. Mark you down for it.
No, so it's cowboy hats on then, yeah?
Yeah.
18 Charlie Alpha, just approach, good afternoon, 38 miles to touchdown, expect that to ILS approach, runway 26, descent to altitude 4,000 feet, QNH1014.
And altitude 4,000 feet, QNH1014, copy, UG180.
So you see the little plane come on here? That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, that's very cool. It's even got the right type.
Yeah.
Oh, that water's gorgeous.
Right, bring the speed back to, let's go for 170 knots.
November 0, Romeo Whiskey 12 miles from touchdown, turn right heading 230 degrees, cleared ILS, runway 26.
Riding 230 degrees, cleared ILS, runway 26, November 940 Romeo Whiskey.
Right, so we got there, clear for the ILS, so all we do is just hit the approach button, which is there, and having a look at the top screen, so we've got localizer and glide slope, and the aircraft should capture that.
Does hitting the approach just activate everything you put there?
Yeah, so I've activated the approach on the actual boxes itself, and that's been activated ever since they gave us vectors to final. And basically all I've done is told the autopilot now to follow it.
Oh.
November 0, Romeo Whiskey, if you can, speed 160 knots or greater to 4 DME.
Okay, we can do that, rolling 160 to 4 DME, November 940 Romeo Whiskey.
So we're expecting the top of the drop at 5.5 miles, we're at 8.8 at the moment.
November 0, Romeo Whiskey, 8 miles to touchdown, number 1, contact Joseph Tower, 119 decimal 455, goodbye.
119 455, today, November 940 Romeo Whiskey. Okay, Rapid 726.
We would have had hours coming out at some point.
Jesse Tower, good afternoon, November 940 Romeo Whiskey, ILS 267 miles. November 940 Romeo Whiskey, ready to continue approach. Continue, November 940 Romeo Whiskey. Rapid 724, have a member's clearance. Rapid 724 is ready to copy.
Glasgow's coming in.
After departure, climb straight ahead until advised to maintain altitude 5,000 feet on reaching. After departure, maintain runway track until advised, climbing to 5,000 feet 1014.
Bring the speed back to 165, she said not below 160. And takeoff flap, or approach flap as we're going to call it now, come in.
7284.
Small balloon via the aircraft there. And the glide slope is captured. And what we can do is put the gear down.
November 40 Romeo Whiskey, expect a late landing clearance, 2 Hawks to depart ahead. Expect late landing, and we're told not less than 160 to 4 DME. Can we reduce speed further now? No, that should be fine. Okay, thanks. It's rolling now, actually.
Right, we're not going to put landing lights on because we're not clear to land. Inertial separators on, gear is down with 3 greens, we've got takeoff flap, everything else is looking good. Speed coming back to 100.
November 40 Romeo Whiskey, runway 26, clear to land, wind 270 degrees, 13 knots. Clear to land, runway 26, November 940 Romeo Whiskey.
Right, landing flaps coming in.
November will be ready for departure after the landing traffic. Cast November to hold a Golf Quebec. Hold Golf, got perfect. Jersey Tower, Rapid 7284. Rapid 7284, Tower Passage. Yeah, we've got a slight emergency. We've got an undercarriage red on number 2. I'm going to try and maintain VMC at 1,000 feet on your extended centre line. Rapid 7284, Roger, and got copy.
There we go, visual lights, that's just above 500 to go. Speed comes back to 90 on the autothrottle.
Rapid 7284, just confirm we're continuing straight ahead.
Negative, we are in a right-hand orbit with an undercarriage red on your extended centre line at 4 miles, 1,000 feet.
Roger, report if you wish to rejoin.
So that's a red arrow that's having a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
No, we won't need to rejoin right now. We're going to be too heavy to land, but we do need to complete a visual inspection on the aircraft with an undercarriage red.
Roger, if we just remain to the west of the field until the flight.
500.
West of the field.
500 above, that all looks good. Aircraft all stable. Take the autopilot's out there.
Autothrottle.
Autothrottle comes out, take the flight directors out, and I'll just manually fly it. gently bring the speed back to 85 knots.
Check. Surface wind 260 degrees, 15 knots.
Yeah, so straight down the runway at 15. Cliff at the end of the runway, so we'll get a little bit of choppy there. That's minimums, and we are visual. That's a Spitfire hold, you see that?
Holding for it, yeah.
Golf November Tower, there'll just be a short delay due to emergency traffic to the west of the field.
That's understood. I'm going to overheat in a couple of minutes. Golf November.
Jersey's not having a good day.
Not at all.
Golf November, Roger, would it help if you taxied around?
Not really Golf November.
Roger.
I can start to chop the throttle there.
Airspeed.
Pull it back.
Stall. Stall.
There you go. And we're down.
Beautiful.
Thank you, darling.
We are now at 7 miles to the west of your field. We are level at 500 feet. I understand that the Spitfire might have got...
There's no traffic coming up there, so...
3,000.
AFM is looking to depart as soon as possible. As copied. If he's content, we are content. We can hold at 7 miles at 500 feet. Roger, just set the radar.
That is not fun.
No, not at all. Taxi light goes on.
Zero Romeo Whiskey, taxi to Gamma.
Taxi to Gamma, Zero Whiskey, thanks. Okay, it's all happening, isn't it?
Okay, Golf November. I have to do immediate right turn. Remain feet
Time 3-5.
to the northwest corner. Keep clear of the red.
So, propulsion strobes can come off. And all we're going to do is clean the aircraft up. So, taxiing around here. So, everything else is normal, and the autopilots can come off, oxygen can come off, inertial separator remains on, pitot comes off, and flaps come up. Bleed can come off as well. There you go, guys, that was a bit of an interesting one, a few things going on with the red arrows having a bit of a wheel emergency there. Couldn't get the gear up, was that the...
I couldn't get it, yeah, but they're too heavy to land.
Right turn out after departure, remain just to
couldn't get it up, the Reds can't get it up, is that what we're saying?
Can't get it up. Spitfire's too hot to handle.
Got these aircraft out. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one, and yeah, a bit of an interesting change from the A42. I tell you what, it's a bit more workload for me. I really enjoy flying this aircraft, and hopefully get the opportunity to fly a little bit more.
Copy, Golf November.
Suit you.
It's quite busy this airport today, isn't it?
Yeah, got some old things there.
Gamma Ops, November 940 Romeo Whiskey. Just don't want to speak to me today, do they?
Tower works, one radio check.
Oh, that's 2 rabbits from Oxford.
Which one's 2 rabbits?
The big gold falcon.
Oh, that's a bold colour to have an aircraft, isn't it? Since not answering on the radio, hopefully we can find a marshaller somewhere.
There's someone in a high vis coming out.
I can see, yeah. Hey, we're not the only TBM here either. There you go.
Raphael 728 tower. Go ahead. Just to confirm what the issue is you can't retract the undercarriage, is that correct? So he's retracted the undercarriage, but he has an undercarriage indication of red, meaning that it hasn't travelled all the way up. A visual inspection suggests that it has, so it's going through the cards, but right now we're going to have to be, we're going to remain in there. I'm just chatting to the lead of the formation. I'll call you back. No, that's no problem. Thank you.
Doesn't sound like a happy man.
So we're going to that way around.
2 Tower SQ6, flight 2, say runway 26 at Alpha 1.
Rescue 6 Tower, Alpha 1, enter runway 26.
Enter runway 26 Alpha 1, Rescue 6.
Golf November, continue not above altitude 2,000 feet.
Golf November, prefer to maintain 700 foot above sea level this time.
Raphael 7284, the Spitfire traffic is just a mile to the west of the northwest corner at this time.
There you go, right. 2 minute cool down, parking brake goes off, and we'll just double check we've got everything. Taxi light goes off, nav remains on. Everything remains on at there. No separator remain on until shut down, everything else looks good. Right guys, that's 2 minutes to go to shut down, so I'll just restart the clock for that one. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed that, and yeah, we'll see you again in the future. Thanks, bye.
High five.